So are we ready, my friends? This is OSA Wrap Up. Welcome, my friends, to my channel and this week's upload. And today is going to be a long one. So get your coffees, get your snacks. Let's find out what we did during Old School April, shall we? Wasn't it fantastic, my friends? Those of you who joined in, Record Store Rockers, we came second. That's really impressive. Well done. Well done to everyone, actually. The Food Court Gang won, so they get to choose next year's theme, which is fantastic. And yeah, well done, everyone. It was brilliant, wasn't it? It was such fun. It went so fast. Ah, and about halfway through, I realised that I was reading very quickly, and I thought it was because I was reading really small books. Because a lot of vintage books are, they're only 200, 250 pages max, really. But actually, I've actually only read 9 really small books. The rest of them were normal size. But halfway through, I decided, you know what? As well as Old School April and the Readathon and Craftathon and Watchathon, I'm going to do 30 and 30. Because why not? What's life without a little whimsy? What's life without a little challenge? So that's what I did. 30 books in 30 days. So to begin with, I'm going to start off by saying that I hope you're all well. Are you well? Did you enjoy Old School April? There's loads of other readathons going on at the moment. I believe that there's a zombie-thon going on and a Vampire Diaries-a-thon. I don't know what that's about. I will wait now until Halloweenathon. I might do Summerween. I'll see how I go, but I'll definitely be doing the Halloweenathon, which is done by Kelsi too, who also did Old School April, and it starts on the autumn equinox, which is really 21st or 22nd September, all the way through October. It's also a watchathon, readathon, craftathon, but without points, and it's just good fun. So I'm really looking forward to that one. We'll be playing my TBR. So we're going to start with what I read. No, we won't. Shall we now? Hang on. We're going to start with what I watched. I didn't watch as much as I intended to, mainly because my sister came unexpectedly. She was due at the end of June, and she came for a couple of weeks, which is lovely. But we didn't watch so much then because she tends to, you know, sew and do her own things, and I tend to read and do my own thing. It meant I could reach my 30 to 30, but I didn't watch as much. So most of this was done in um the first few weeks of Halloweenathon. And most of it is what I said I was going to watch. I watched the Evil Dead trilogy. Great films, very very gory, definitely 18 plus. Anybody's seen it, but it's gory and gruesome and horrific and explicit, but my God, it's funny too, isn't it? It's funny, but loved it. So watch that. Also decided to watch something from the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So I watched Night of the Living Dead from the end of the 60s, is a classic for a reason. It's the original zombie movie, really. And also talks about, you know, the politics of the time in the US at the time. One of my favourite videos of all time or films of all time, The Wicker Man, with Christopher Lee, Britt Eklund, Ingrid Pitt, Edward Woodward. I mean, it's just incredible. I'm sure most of you, this is the original, not the remake, which was rubbish. The end of this film has one of the best sunset shots in cinematographic history. It's brilliant. Loved it, loved it. I got the soundtrack to this, so I was playing that as well while I was watching. Then I watched from the 80s, The Lost Boys. Didn't watch this edition. This is a limited edition, some anniversary. Oh, Warner Brothers' most iconic moments. I think I looked at that before. Of course, everybody knows this one. Love it. Watch that from the 80s and from the 90s. I watched The Craft, of course. Again, another classic. I love this film. They're remaking it. Why do they keep remaking stuff? I don't understand why they do that. Why can't they just, how many books are published every year? Try some better original filmmakers. There we go. I also watched there's 7 movies in the Tremor series. Who knew? Um, I watched all the first 3, which are the only 3 which are good. The original movie, which is the best of all. The second one, which is on an oil rig, which is just incredibly funny and is mainly with one of the characters, Bert's in it, brilliant. and the third one, which is Back to Perfection, which has a lot of the original casting. So I watched those three. Brilliant. I watched about 10 episodes of Angel, including the 5 last ones. I preferred this series. There's some good ones scattered, especially the Muppet one, which I watched twice. Just so funny. But the end of this is really good. Very, very sad, but very, very good. So I really enjoyed that. Didn't watch any Buffy this time. I watched some episodes of Charmed as part of, I only had a couple though, as part of Tales Point Horror Book Club Charmed series that we were watching. I completely forgot it this month. Completely forgot. It was this Sunday, just gone. It's currently Tuesday, the 5th of May. It was on Sunday, and Shelley, who runs Tasman Horror, even reminded me, and I still forgot. I was sat reading, and then I thought, well, I'm a bit thirsty, I need a drink. Looked up, and it was 8:15. I'd completely missed it. So I'm sorry about that, Shelley, but I've rewatched, so it was cool. And then I watched Ninth Gate by Johnny Depp, which is also just brilliant. Isn't it brilliant? So that's what I watched. Logged all the points for that. I also watched a couple of like TV shows and 80s adverts on YouTube and bits and bobs, some cartoons and things. But yeah, it was good fun. It was good fun. Really enjoyed it. And then for the craftathon part of Old School April, I mainly built Lego. And I'm going to do an insert now from previous Sharon, past Sharon, because I'm not going to bring it all out. I just decided to film it on the shelves. So, past Sharon, over to you. Okay, so these are the Lego I built for the craftathon. We did the little Lego, well, big Lego, astronaut. There's the cat having a sniff. Also did the daisies, Piglet, and his little birthday cake. This closes actually, so you can have it like that if you want to. I like it open because you can see the minifigure, which is fantastic. I also built a Rocky mock from Project Hail Mary. So, yeah, pretty good. My biggest project was this one, which took about 5 days, which is the Milky Way. You are here. That's the Earth. It's beautiful, isn't it? It is not straight, but I'm not worried about that. So that was great fun. I had such fun, especially the Milky Way, which I think is probably my favourite build, certainly of this year, possibly in my top 3 of all time. It was so much fun. I love all the little fiddly bits. It was just brilliant. Yeah, and I loved it, and it looks so good in my living room. Really good. But I also love the astronaut. I loved Rocky. So and my Project Hail Mary Lego set, the official, Lego set is arrived yesterday. It's been on back order since it came out, so I'm really pleased to begin on with that. I've also built the Green Alien, which should probably be, I'll put it in my vlog next week, which is fantastic. It's got a mechanism that makes it move like he's on one of those rides outside the supermarkets, you know. And I've also got Lotso to build, so I'm going to do that as well. So on to the books, my friends. There's 30 of them. So I will try and be as quick as I can. But as we all know, I do love a natter, which is why I love YouTube. I don't think many people ever watch me. I don't care. I love to have a chat. And there's just not enough time on Instagram or TikTok to do that. You know what I mean? I have to watch the clock all the time, and I hate doing that. So we'll start with the Kindles. I did really well this month with Kindle. I have Kindle Unlimited. I know a lot of us do. And it's absolutely worth the money for me. I think I pay 10 quid. Is it 9.99? I think something like that. And I read at least 3 or 4 books from Kindle Unlimited every month. This month, I think, yeah. Aside from one, which was an ARC, I think every single one of these, and there is 17, was on Kindle Unlimited. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? So we'll start to begin with. I've got a list because I haven't got a memory like that. All right. I know other YouTubers and book creators pretend they don't look at a list, don't understand it. Right. You don't remember it. You don't remember what's going on. You can't remember every single book you read. I mean, I remember what's in them. Don't remember the titles of the authors. So let's not be lying. So 17 Kindle started with Night School Bites by A.D. Arrow. This is part of the Bumps in the Night series. It's fantastic. I'm only going to do a small synopsis on each one because we'll be here forever. Yeah, so Night School Bites. I already did this as part of my vlog and explained what it was about. So if you want to, you go back and watch that if you feel so inclined. But this is about a boy who's woken up in the middle of the night by his parents, and they run off to this town, which is very weird, and a school that the students only attend at night, which is, and the school grounds is set in a graveyard. Very weird, but obviously the other students are not, or any of the other people are not exactly human. You know, I really like about A.D. Harrow's books and the Bump in the Night series is they don't necessarily end happy. That's all I'm going to say. Next, I read Scareville by John Ward. This one was recommended by Cameron Chaney from Library Macabre. I'd never heard of it before. It's also on the whole series on Kindle Unlimited. I plan to read the whole series. I'll probably read more of them during Halloweenathon. This is the original, and it's about a town where this strange shop opens and owned by a strange man who's a top hat, and he looks a bit freaky, and he sells spooky stuff that is not all it seems. It's very good. It's great fun. If you have kids, especially middle grade books, they'll love this. Actually, I love both of those books, Bumps in the Night and Scareville. Then I read an Arc, which is the only book on this list, I think, that wasn't on KU. Twisted Tales to Tell at Night, the Halloween edition. This was sent to me by NetGalley or Book Sirens. Can't remember now. And this is short stories, very much based in that, scary tales to tell in the dark kind of way. These were really good. Really enjoyed them. It was good fun. It was a solid short story collection. Some were better than others. You know, that's usually the case. It's rare you have one that's brilliant all the way through. And this was great fun. Enjoyed it. Really easy to pick up, put down, and I love a short story collection. I think I don't know if people want me to tell you what my star ratings were. I don't really do that when I review. I do on Goodreads because I have to. But just so you understand how I review and star rate. I do not review or star rate. I don't review anything on Goodreads below a 3-star. Anything below a 3-star to me is a DNF, and I do not review DNFs. I think it's completely unfair unless you've read like 75% of it, right? Perhaps then. It's completely unfair to the author if you haven't actually read the book to give an honest opinion, in my opinion. If you've read 75%, probably maybe you could. I wouldn't because I only give a book 50 pages. If it hasn't engaged me in 50 pages, I DNF. Life's too short to read bad books, darlings. Do you know what I mean? There's so many good ones. So, oh, the cat's being sick now. Live action. Live action as we speak. Well done, Shearer. You monkey girl. I'll have to go and clean that up in a minute. It's only like, grass because she's been outside eating the grass. So anyway, that was really good. Really enjoyed that. And then I read 3 autobiographies. I love an autobiography, especially on my bed Kindle, the Kindle I read in bed, because it's really easy to pick up and put down. I don't try and read. I don't try and read. I don't read like a full novel or book before I go to sleep because if I get involved in it, I can't sleep. Whereas a short story collection or an autobiography, I could just and just stop. I also have to say, and this this drives a lot of my book friends crazy. I do use a bookmark. Actually, don't need to, and I don't have to get to the end of the chapter or even a page break. I can stop reading in the middle of a sentence and then go back and pick it up. So, she's been sick again. Do you know what it is? I'm talking to people here, Shira. Have a little bit of respect. What do you do? I better go and sort it out. Okay. Cat sick, sorted. Cat cuddled. And now she's eaten again, so strange little animals, aren't they? But anyway, where did we get to? Autobiographies, wasn't it? So anyway, I read three, and all of them, two of them were from cast members from the Carry On films, which are very British institutions. So if you're not British, you probably don't know what they are, but they're very kind of tongue in cheek, kind of those old bawdy postcards you used to get, where people were being inappropriate and they're sexist and misogynistic and all the rest of it. But the 70s was a different time. But they're good fun. So first of all, I read Hattie Jakes. She played the matron a lot in the Carry On films. She was a fantastic actress. And this is about her life story, which was very sad, actually, but very poignant. Really enjoyed it. That was followed very quickly by Kenneth Connor, who also was in the Carry On films, but also was a great theatre actor. He was a very short man for an actor in those days, for the 60s. He was only like 5'7", which is very short for a leading man. So he never really had leading man roles. But this is his story told by a biographer and his son. So that was really good. Again, enjoyed that. And then I read this one, which is Linda Robson. She's also kind of like a British institution. She used to be in a very successful sitcom in the UK called Birds of a Feather. So that was her. She also is on Loose Women now, which is the British version of The View in the US. So she's one of the panelists on that. So I enjoyed all of them. They were good fun. All on KU. Next I read Esther Is Now Following You by Tanya Sweeney. Now this was a weird one, and I almost DNF'd this, but did get good in the end. It's about this woman who is in a very loveless, she feels, is a very loveless, sad marriage, where she can't carry a child. There's a lot of, if you have any kind of pregnancy or fertility issues, then, handle this one with care. It just go into that. And she becomes obsessed with this actor who's from, I think he's from Canada. It's Canada, in it? Yeah, Canada. So she decides to just uproot her life, move to Canada, because she's convinced this man is going to meet her and marry her. And she kind of wheedles away into his family, and it all falls apart, as it inevitably will. But it's unhinged. She is unhinged. But it was good fun. I mean, probably just below a 3-star for me. But I did finish it. But the middle of it was a little bit. It could have been 100 pages less, is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? But the actual story, the idea behind it was great. It was great fun. Next one, not another 80s movie by Sean McDonough. This was such fun. Sean is an indie author, and this was pure pulp 80s fiction. Think Richard Lehman, kind of pulpy, slightly inappropriate horror, right? It's very gory, it's gruesome. It's about a family that moves to a new small town, and it's not all it seems. And then it changes halfway through into something completely different, but it is a love story to 80s pulp fiction. It's great fun. Really enjoyed it. Next, I read 2 books by PJ Powell. The first one was 8 Cases of June. This is a very short book. It's a novella. Excuse me. And it's about this woman who's talking to it's a woman's conversation with a psychiatrist. And from the beginning, she's killed 7 men. And the psychiatrist is trying to find out why. This was mind-blowing. I mean, I think it was recommended to me by a book friend. And she says, give it a go, Shaz. It's not what you think. And it really isn't. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Try it, my friends. It's on KU. So following that, I also read another novella by the same author, who is, I believe, is a woman, PJ Powell. I'm not sure. Called Lollygag. Now, again, very gory, verging on splatterpunk. about this young girl who loves this cartoon series, and the cartoon comes out of the television. It's very kind of The Ring, but gorier. Enjoyed that too. Great cover. Also on KU. Next, I read The Dead Sea by Tim Curran. This was incredible. It's over 600 pages long, this book, so just beware of that. It's on KU, and it's basically about this ship, and it's on the way to build a runway in the middle of the jungle with, a full crew on the ship, plus a team of builders, engineers, everything. And they go through a part of the ocean that is renowned for ships disappearing. And turns out that there is a portal to another dimension that takes ships into what is essentially a dead ship graveyard. And people and ships don't come out of it very often. And it's all about their journey through this. And this is, I'm not spoiling anything, this is in the blurb for this. It has lots of very, very Lovecraftian type of monsters, very Cthulhu-ish. It's just so good. What makes it so good, apart from the horror part, which is great, and the monsters, which are great, is the fact that the relationships in this are incredible. Some of these people, you'll be desperate for them to survive, and some of them you can't wait for them to not. There's one particular character who is just so awful. Absolutely brilliant. Never read anything by this author before. Loved it. Great cover. The art on the cover, it was painted from an original cover art by Keelan Patrick Berg. Brilliant. Absolutely loved it. But it is a whopper. I didn't know when I went in. Next, Doors of Darkness. This is the Mole. And of course, old school April, as we all know, was Mole Madness. So this was great. I read one of these before, which was a Halloween one, a Halloweenathon last year. And this one is all based, it's horror stories, a sort of short story collection based around the shopping mall. It's great fun. Again, a good mix of very good stories, decent stories, and some that kind of just missed the mark a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But such fun, such fun. So that was great. Loved that. And then I read another collection because, I was going through them, even when I was upstairs reading in bed. Space horrors. The difference between space horrors and horror science fiction horror. If it's science fiction horror, the science fiction leads and the horror is in it. For instance, Alien or Aliens would be science fiction horror. The main thing is the science fiction, the horror is just part of it. These are horrors based in space. Right? And they were great. This was a last minute pickup for me. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely loved it. One of my favourite, I think this was my favourite collection of the month, actually. Great. All these are on KU, my friends. All on KU. And then I read I think I read 3 of kind of, they're almost encyclopedias of facts and figures and mysteries and inventions and things. I love stuff like that. Again, they're really easy to pick up and put down. Firstly, I read Mysteries. This was great. It's like the mysteries around the world. There was some unusual ones in here that I hadn't read before. So that was good. Really enjoyed that. That was followed by the same author, Unexplained Mysteries, which again looks into the things that have happened that have no explanation. There was quite a few crimes in this one that were a bit weird. Do you know, like the 2 blokes who were found lying dead with iron masks on and nobody knew who they were? Do you remember those? But anyway, also good. And then I read this one, and this was funny. Hey, Idiot, which was, hey, as in what was this? Hey, as in no. Hey, Idiot, which was about all the stupid things that humanity has done. Great fun. Really enjoyed it. Starting to lose my voice. Need a drink in a minute. And finally, I read Dead Center by Shia Ribonsky, and this was about it's an autobiography written by a man who is part of the chief medical officer um, department in New York City. So he looks after, the crimes, the victims. It's kind of it's the pathology department basically. A lot of this is based around 9/11 because he was one of the main creators of the process that allowed people to identify bodies. So yeah, this was really really good. Really enjoyed it. Now I'm just going to get a coffee, and I'll be back for part two of the book wrap up, which is all physical books. I've no idea where I'm going to put these now. I've read them. I have a TBR shelf, which is massive. Obviously, we all have those. But then where do I put them after? Anyway, we're back in a moment. Okay, so I'm suitably refreshed. My voice is back. We're going to do the physical books. Again, I'll try and be as brief as possible. But I'm not promising anything. I'm not promising anything, my friends. First of all, the two books that we read for Point Horror Book Club. The Demon by Samantha Lee. This was a fail. It was such a good premise. It's about a possessed dream catcher. But the casual violence in this was too much. Even for the 90s when this was written, or the early 2000s. It just didn't hit the mark. It was a great premise, but really let down by the characters. I didn't like any of the characters for a start. That doesn't help because you need to have. For me, I mean, it's not the same for everyone. Reading is subjective, but for me, I need to have at least one character I want to, get through it. You know what I mean? And this had none, so there's that. Second one was a bit more of a success. The Carver. This is a Point Horror Unleashed. These are the ones that were released in the UK. They're all UK authors. Jenny Jones. And this is about a young girl who lives in a house at the end of this very lonely lane where there's a copse, another word for a part of an old ancient woodland, right? And she starts seeing creepy things there. And then there's a boy living in there carving creepy puppets. This was all right. Much better than Demon. I'm going to say there was a lot more to like about this. But the girl in it, oh my lord, she was so annoying. It concentrated, in my opinion, it should have concentrated on the mythology and legends of the land, and the creepy dolls, which were creepy. The puppets, they were creepy, especially, obviously. Concentrated too much on, her and the boys she was surrounded by, in my opinion. But yeah, it was better than the other one, but not the best month for Point Horror, in my opinion. And usually there's always something I like about all of them. So, but yeah, it was better. Great cover. My favourite Point Horror one this month was one I picked just to read for Old School April. Um, this was really really good. The Cunning Man. It was set in a fishing village, and this family that move into a house there, and the weirdness that goes on. The Cunning Man is basically someone who can command the weather. He's like a wizard, kind of. The one in this one is not a nice man, and it's all the shenanigans that go on, and the fact that the cove they live in is very deadly because of the rocks, and a lot of ships have been grounded, and a lot of people have died, and is this man responsible for that? And then quite a lot of the ghosts or spirits of the people who have died come back and get their revenge. It's better. This was the best one of the three. It was really really good. I think the cover's really weird, but excellent. The Cunning Man by Celia Reese. I love Celia Reese. I love The Vanishing, which we read last year for Point Horror Unleashed. She's a brilliant writer. She writes so well. Then these aren't in any order, I don't think, are they? No, I just piled up. The next, well, not the next one, but another one I read, American Rapture by C.J. Reed. This C.J. Lead, a lovely cover, isn't it beautiful? I kind of enjoyed Mayfly. It was a big, but much more popular with my book friends than me, mainly because I found the ending so annoying. I could have thrown the book at the wall, but the actual story itself was really good. It was just the ending was like, oh, I enjoyed this one. It was about a very hyper religious family and the girl who was very protected. And then there's this virus that's released. It's basically her take on zombies, but instead of the zombies wanting to eat brains, they are filled with uncontrollable lust. So you can imagine how that goes. So she manages to escape and um then goes on a kind of like, road trip through a landscape of, horrific violence and explicit violence, to try and find her twin brother. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Again, I liked the ending of this one, but the middle was a bit, it's going on a bit. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's about 400 pages. Could have been 100 less and been much better, I think, but I enjoyed it. It was quite good. Next, The Insitter by Heather Moyock. This was recommended to me by my lovely indie author friend of The Miracle Sim, which is one of my favourite books. In fact, it's up on my bookcase, you can't see it. By him. And this is basically a haunted house with a twist. It's about a girl who's on the run from social care, for she's only 17, a care home, and a violent boyfriend. And she takes a job looking after an inn and is haunted. Or is it? Might be. Might be something else. Very good. Great writing. Never read anything by her before. I've got another one of her books to read. Really enjoyed it. It was really good fun. Another one. This isn't one of my auto-buy authors. Rachel Harrison, Play Nice. This was good. It's her take on the haunted house. A bit of a theme here, eh? Haunted house. Oh, by the way, Gary says hello. Hello, Gary. Say hello, Gary. He's such a superstar, isn't he? Um, it was also about families and sisters, and there's a theme of sisters this month, definitely. It's about their mom who basically said their house was possessed and they got taken into the care of their father. And the mother dies and they find out she kept the house. And the youngest daughter, who's an influencer, decides to go and, flip the house, basically go and decorate it, do a big thing online, get lots of views, and doesn't go to plan. This is really good. I really enjoyed it. It's not my favourite by Rachel Harrison. I think Such Sharp Teeth is still my favourite, followed by Cackle, then Black Sheep. But this was all right. This was okay. It was a decent read. It was, 3.5, 4 star to me. Because I tend to, star on vibes. So yeah, I enjoyed it. It was good fun. I enjoyed it. Next, Sisters by Daisy Johnson. This is a literary fiction. And it's about toxic sisterhood, basically. It's about two sisters and their relationship is severely toxic. I was just looking, yeah, July and September they're called. I don't know why you'd name your kids after the month. That's just crackers. Anyway, they move across country um, to a new house and then everything starts to go a bit weird. Is the place haunted? What's going on with the sisters? What's happening? It has a creeping dread to it. You kind of you're not sure, but you feel like something's coming, and has a cracking twist. So really enjoyed that. Lovely book. Then we did a couple of Goosebumpies. We did Who's Your Mummy by R.L. Stein. I love Egypt. Love ancient Egypt. I studied it. Loved it. And this is about two kids who go stay with their uncle, who is an Egyptologist, and it all goes a bit weird. That's all you need to know in it. It's great fun. What I love about a lot of the Goosebumps books is that at the end you always have like little quizzes, see if you've taken it in, except for kids, obviously, or facts about Egypt. It's great fun. Great cover, so good. Then I read Stay Out of the Basement by R.L. Stein. This is Goosebumps too. I thought I'd read a Horrorland. Oh, that was a Horrorland one. Yeah, this was great fun. It's about a couple of kids who think their dad's a bit weird. He's in the basement. and he starts turning into a plant. It's kind of like Little Shop of Horrors, kind of. It's a bit twisty turny, but it's great fun. Really loved it. Again, fantastic cover. It's got so many points on Old School April because that lovely neon, so 90s. Next, I read a couple of creepover books. These were I saw these on Kelsi's video. I never heard of them. They're very difficult to get in this country. I managed to get two for a great price on Amazon. Don't know why, but first of all, creep over the house next door, which is about a family who live next door to a supposedly haunted house where the original owners 100 years ago disappeared, and then the next owners 50 years after that disappeared, and they decide during a New Year's Eve? Yeah, during a New Year's Eve party to go over and find out what's really going on, and it's not what you think. Again, I don't know if it's the same. I think it's the same author, PJ Knight. These don't also necessarily have happy endings, and I quite like that. That's more realistic, isn't it? Not everything has a happy ending. Actually, very little, to be honest. I love the fact it's got a creepometer on the back, and this one says, "Sleep with your lights on." I haven't found one that's never sleep again yet, but I will. Again, great cover. Great cover. And then I got this one. What a doll. This is a little hardback. I love a little baby hardback. And this is about a girl whose best friend decides to move on with her new friends. And so she gets very angry about this and buys a doll. And whatever happens to the doll is happening to a friend. That's basically voodoo for kids. But yeah, this is Creepometer. Hide under the covers. So yeah, that was really good. Again, not necessarily a happy ending. Last two, my friends. Last two. We're getting there. We're getting there. Seventh Sister by Dawn Curtis. I've been waiting for this one to come out as one of my most anticipated reads of the month. I love Dawn's writing. She writes wonderful, dark, fetid, folkloric horror. This is her second adult novel. She's probably more well known for a YA. Her first one was The Madness, which was fantastic, and it was her take on vampires. This is her take on folklore and living with the land and the old gods. And it's about seven sisters who move in with their grandmother after their parents die on this island called Beltane. And what happens there when they're kids and later on when they come back as adults. It's all about sisterhood, the good and the bad, and about being one with the earth. It's fantastic. It makes you feel a little bit muddy, a little bit claggy. Do you know what I mean? It's wonderful. It's so wonderful. I ate this up. It's not that long a book, I don't think. Yeah, like 300 pages. It's absolutely brilliant. Loved it. My favourite read of the month. And then finally, I did a read along, buddy read with my friend Melina, and we read In Every Generation by Kendara Blake, which is, of course, a sequel to Buffy. And she wrote a trilogy. I've got the other two books to read. This has been on my shelf so long because and we spoke about it, me and Melina. I love Buffy. And I was so worried that this wouldn't live up to it. Even though my friend Amy McCall said this was really good, and I trust her opinion because she's a bigger Buffy fan than me, and she also knows Kendara, I'd kind of put it off. And it's basically 20 years. Is it 20 years? I think it's 20 years. Maybe not that long, 15, 16. Anyway, it's about Willow and she's got a daughter. And still a lot of the old gang are there, and something tragic happens to all of the Slayers, you think. And she gets called to be not only a Slayer, but a witch. It's such fun. It really is. It feels just like stepping back into the Buffy series because the characters are still the same. They still have the same voice. They still speak with the same voice. It's just so good. We read like 100 pages a day. It was absolutely lovely. I can't wait to read the next two. which I will do over the next few months. It was just fun, and it was such fun getting to know Melina better. We've both been, I think she's been part of Tales Horror longer than me. I've been about, must be 4 years now. And it was just lovely getting to know her. WhatsApp each other to talk about the book. But yeah, so that was it. Old school April done for another year, my friends. It's over. It's done. But we have the memories. We have the memories. It was such fun. It's such a lovely event. I will come on earlier next year to let you know it's coming. If you want to join in, it's just wonderful. Kelsi and the rest of the hosts, they just do such a fantastic job. The Discord is such fun. And this year, because I think this is the 4th year of OSA, I didn't do the first year, but I've done the last 3. Um, it's a bigger community now, and it's so friendly and welcoming and non-judgmental, and just a lovely event to be part of. There were sprints and watch-alongs, and a lot of those I couldn't do because obviously majority of the hosts are in the US, and their time zones, they just don't fit for me. They did like a sleepover, which I'd have loved to have done, but it didn't start till 10 o'clock in the UK. So, but I got involved as much as I could. I've watched a lot of my fellow OSA people's vlogs, and I've just had a wonderful time. So, roll on next year, but Halloweenathon before that, my friends. I'll be on to remind you about that. Anyway, next week, back to our normal weekly vlogs. And yeah, hope you're all doing well. Stay warm or cool, because it's hot in the UK at the moment. Stay hydrated. Keep reading fantastic books. Building Lego. Do whatever brings you joy. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. And I will see you next Wednesday for my next upload. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye, OSA. Goodbye, Record Store Rockers. See you all next year. Bye.